Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new to my channel or you haven't seen my videos in a while, you know that I've been gone for about 2 weeks now, and even though that's not a lot for some people, for me that's a lot because I post every week and it's just been weird not really filming a video and editing a video, because that's usually like my whole weekend. Obviously I have missed you guys, but it has been a good break for me and I'm ready to come back. I have a lot of work. I have mocks soon, so I might ghost again, who knows. If you guys have been concerned about me, about my mental health and all that stuff, I'm feeling a lot more confident, a lot more positive, a lot more productive, so yeah, I'm feeling good. So in today's video, I haven't planned it at all. I just thought I should sit down and talk to you guys about school. Now, I'm not going to talk to you guys about like revision stuff or like homework or like literally anything about learning. I'm going to tell you guys about my 3 experiences at different types of schools. So if you watched my Draw My Life from like 2 years ago now, I spoke about how I was in a public school, well, private school at first, and then a public school, and then homeschool / online school. So I thought it would be interesting for you guys to like see my opinions on these schools. Obviously not all schools are the same, but if you've only ever been to one type of school, you can see how the other ones are like and my opinions on them. So I thought that would be quite cool. Obviously right now I'm in college, prefer it than any of these schools that I'm going to say. So I spent the majority of my life in private school. So I spent from 4 to 14, so I was there for 10 years, around that, I don't know exactly, but that's the range that we're talking about. That was pretty much my whole life, growing up in like a private school, posh girl. I wasn't a posh girl, I mean I guess I was. I'll insert some pictures. I was posh, like my accent, but I don't think I was posh in like how I behaved, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't like those girls that were really snobby and all that. I mean there were some people in my school that were snobby, but I wasn't one of them. So I'm not even gonna lie, even though I'm gonna start roasting this school, I did enjoy my primary school years. Those were like the best years of my life, in all fairness. They literally gave me so many opportunities. I don't want people to be like, you're so ungrateful, like for not liking the private school, whatever. So yeah, primary school years were good. I can't even lie. If you don't know many private schools, they are heavily, I mean anything that you do, you have to do it well, like 100%, like you need to give them your all. But they really did have high expectations on sport, and luckily I was good at sport, so like I didn't struggle like pressure wise to be good at it, because obviously not everyone made it to the team, but everyone had to play it like 3 times a week. 3 times a week or 2 times a week? I can't remember. I think it's 2 times a week, and then 1 time a week was PE. Anyway, sport of some kind. You had to be committed to it and you had to give up your whole weekend. So I literally never had a weekend as a child, and that's one thing that I could say that was bad about the school. It would be training all throughout the week, and then on a Saturday I would have a match, and then on the Sunday I had to do all of my homework because I couldn't do it on the Saturday. The age of like 7 up to age 14 was like me playing matches every weekend. So in terms of friendships, that's kind of the main reason why I didn't like the private school, because it was not snobby, and I don't people are probably watching this from my old school. Not all of them are snobby. Some people were lovely and I'm still friends with them to this day. Some of them go to my college. But some people were not very nice, and I have spoken about me being bullied before, but that did happen after I left the school. I'll explain that later, but yeah, I just felt like I never fit in because they were so different to me. My personality has changed tremendously, and I'm not even saying changed like it's been changed like on purpose or because I'm with new people. It's been changed because I wasn't myself, if that makes sense. Like I was never like, I never felt comfortable enough to be who I truly wanted to be. Like a few people I was myself with, I had to conform to the white posh girl attitude. So in my particular school we had to do cadet training. every single Wednesday, and I absolutely hated it. I hated it so much. We had to literally like dress up in army uniform. I was in the Navy, but like, because you could choose RAF, Navy and Army, but I had to have an Army uniform as well as my Navy uniform, so I had to have 2 uniforms. I had to put it on. We had to like run around in the dirt, do all that screaming stuff. They would scream at you. You'd have to learn how to march. Things were leading up towards this, and it was like that just tipped me over the edge, and I was like, I am beyond stress. I literally like almost cried every Wednesday when I had to go to the cadets. Like, other people may say like, well, what was your issue? Like, it's not really a big deal, but I don't know what it was. I think I was just really sensitive back then, and I just couldn't hack it. Like, I hated it so much. Obviously there was issues going on with me and the money of the school. I'm not rich. I was never rich. My parents could afford it at the time, but it got to a point where we couldn't really afford it anymore. We had times where I had to be kicked out of the school because we couldn't afford it, and then I'd go back like a month or 2 later. I missed the start of year 7, I missed the start of year 9. The only first day I ever had in a secondary school in that school was year 8 because we had enough money, but the other 2 we didn't. So I missed like the first 3 weeks of year 7, which was when everyone like got settled in. So I came in and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously it's the same school. The primary school was across the road and the secondary school, so I knew the secondary school like my way around it, but I had never been to school there, if that makes sense, because we used to go there for lunch and sport and stuff. But yeah, I don't think that I was anxious about it until like year 6. That was when I realised I didn't feel welcome there, and I don't know if it was like a subconscious thing or like I actually thought it, but I think that's what caused the anxiety. Okay, let me just explain. So basically, year 6, we had a school trip. First they said that I couldn't go because we didn't have the money. Then they said, actually, you can afford the trip itself, so we'll let you go. Then they said, actually, no, you can't go. That didn't help my self-confidence at all because I was always left out. I was having time off school from like year 4, so I was when I was like 8, 9, all the way up until 14. I felt like no one actually wanted me there, so I was like, well, why am I even here? One day, weirdly enough, I had a really good day. I got told that I was being moved up a team for rounders. Came home and my mum said that I was not allowed to go back to school. I said, so what do you mean, like, have I just got another month off? Like, I'm used to this, like I always have a month off and then I go back. She was like, you're not going back, like, at all, because they made a deal. They said that I was allowed to finish year 9. They didn't let me finish year 9. I was back after the Easter holidays, after a 3-week break. I went back for 1 day and I came home and found out that I was never going back. And I didn't get to say goodbye to my friends, I didn't get to say goodbye to my teachers, I didn't get to like take in that that was the last time me ever attending a school that was part of my life for the whole of my life. And even though I wanted to leave, it was just a bit bittersweet, do you know what I mean? So then the talk happened about, well, what are we going to do next? What is the next step for me in education? Because it's not going to be a private school because we can't afford it. Quite frankly, I think my parents are fed up of it. I was fed up of it. They were fed up that the school was fed up of me. So really, it wasn't the best idea to even fight going back. I think my parents knew that I was upset about going. It's not like they gave up, because they fought so hard for me, and I appreciate them so incredibly much because they valued my education. And I'm not saying that if you go to a public school your parents don't value your education, but for my parents, they really wanted me to go to that private school. At a lot of the times I wanted to go, like in primary school, but then I hated it. But obviously they were like, I want to give you a good education, and I think they got to the point, well, she's not happy, like, why am I allowing her to stay somewhere where she's not thriving? I was starting to feel like weird. I was tired all the time. I was like almost falling asleep in a lot of my lessons. I wasn't talkative. I had like itches all down my legs, all in my arms, tingling, like itching. I would cry, I would scream, I would yell at my parents, like for no reason. I don't even know what was going on in my head, but it was like built up anger. Like I was scared, I was anxious, I didn't know what was going on. Then we went to the doctors and they found out that it was just anxiety. I had this idea, I'm going to start online school. My parents looked into it, they found a good school that they could send me to. So I would sit on a computer and I would be in front of this like PowerPoint slide sort of thing. There were other kids in the class, but you could just see their names like all down here, and you had like a chat box, you could talk to them, and your teacher would be in a microphone and they'd literally just talk through a PowerPoint with you. And when I went for the first day, I woke up and went on my laptop for the first time, I was like, this is weird, like it was not really what I expected it to be. I couldn't seem to like learn anything. So I think we tried the online school from April up to like June-ish. Actually, was it April? Maybe I started in May, because I had a massive gap where I wasn't doing anything. Like, I'm an only child, so I'm lonely all the time anyway, but I was at school for the majority of the week, majority of the time of my life, so I had other children around me, kids around me, whatever. But obviously being at home, it was kind of like a holiday, but like everyone else was at school, so I couldn't even talk to anyone, like, because they were at school. So it was just like very long days, and I think because I was like just spending time with myself on my own in my room for like a good month, I think that contributed towards my anxiety, and I was just like all over the place. I didn't really have anyone friends wise. I ended up losing friends because I'm an idiot, and I just started arguments for what reason. That didn't contribute to the bullying, by the way. That was completely different people. They just started bullying me for no reason, so that added on, because that school, some people were very horrible. I was just slow. Like, I wasn't suicidal, I was just like, no one likes me, and then I would just lash out, and I didn't know how to handle the situations because I was just so angry. I had so much going on in my life where it was just like, you're pushing me really hard and I can't do it anymore. Like, obviously, this is what I say, bullies, you don't know what someone's going through at the point that you're bullying them. Then obviously it was to the point where I had to choose. It was year 10, I was starting my GCSEs, I couldn't be messing about. This is a school that I need to go to and stay at in year 10 and year 11. There was no moving about. I couldn't waste time. This is where I got the experience of a lifetime. I'm not saying it was good, not saying it was bad. I broke out of my shell at this point of my life. The first day I came in as pretty much just a private school girl. I did not know what to expect. I was not used to some of the behaviour that was going on, because obviously in private school they have impeccably high standards. Don't yell at the teacher, don't chat back, because you will be in a Saturday detention. Obviously, I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys do go to public school, so you don't know any different, but as a private school girl going into this, I was like blown away. Because the private school, obviously they have a lot of money, so there's a lot of facilities. I was privileged enough to experience like what the top kids get to experience in school. Being in a public school where they weren't expecting anything from you other than just do your homework and revise. That was it. And attend your lessons. Like, in private school, however, it was, I expect you to do cadets. You have to do cadets throughout the whole of year 9. You have to join a club, and it was compulsory to join a club. You have to do sports and do any sort of like weekend activity. Like, they had you on the weekends. Like, you didn't have your time to go out with your friends. Friends, what's that? Like, that didn't exist. Unless your friends were in your school, you didn't have time to see your friends outside of school unless it was like holidays. Like, I personally never had any time for myself. So I think when I had more time, obviously my productivity did go down. I can't even lie, because I was like, I have all this freedom, like no one's asking me to do things all the time, I just want to chill. So pretty much the whole of year 10 I didn't do much work. I had time to meet more friends. I was able to start my YouTube in year 10. Personally, I don't think the teaching was as good as my private school. Obviously it could be down to my school that I went to. Some teachers were really good, some teachers were average, some teachers were very bad. I ended up passing on my GCSEs, so there are good things to that. And there was a lot of people like who were bullying me, and they would say that you're not going to pass your GCSEs going to a public school, this stuff. Don't come at me saying that I'm not going to pass my GCSEs because I've gone to a different school. It's down to me and how I want to achieve. The bullying, I have spoken about it in a few videos. Just to summarise it, it was all on the internet, obviously, because none of them saw me in real life because I was gone out of the school, and none of them could ever say it to my face because I've seen some of them in real life and they can't bring that same energy. So if you want to hate on me, bring that same energy and we can go now. Like, I don't see what the issue is. You have all that lip on your phone, come to me with that same energy and we'll see what happens. They want to say that I should kill myself, and a lot of people say that didn't happen. I know it happened because multiple people messaged me that day saying that happened. So don't even try and message me right now and say that people didn't tell me to kill myself, because I know it happened. A lot of them said that I was annoying, that I'm irrelevant, that I'm just not a nice person, that I think that I'm better than everyone else, all this stuff. And not gonna lie, I didn't help myself because I did retaliate a lot, but that I don't think that I should blame myself, in all fairness. Like, I could have handled it better, but I went through a lot. Like, you really think that I'm just gonna let that slide? After all of what I've been through, I never did anything to these people, nothing at all. Like, they weren't even my friends, like, that much. They weren't the people that I even rolled with in that school. They would find a way to get on me no matter what platform of social media. They will comment under my YouTube videos. Even now I see comments of them and I know it's you. But I have moved on, I have made new friends, I have found myself, so things like that doesn't bother me because I am not insecure. Just those people and a few other like haters around, whatever, have a real issue with me because I personally feel like they wish that they could do what I'm doing, and they are insecure and they're rubbing it off on me. And I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I did mention the bullying. I'm not just gonna like leave you guys hanging. So I think that they were just jealous, and I'm not saying jealous, oh they like the way I looked and all that stuff, because I hadn't even glowed up then. Like I wasn't even that pretty back then, so it wasn't about my looks. Probably about my confidence, probably about how I was able to move out of that restricted school environment because they were still living in that and they didn't have life outside of it. You've learned some more about me, about my life, what I have gone through. It wasn't dreadful, like, it was dreadful. Okay, why am I saying that it wasn't dreadful? It was absolutely dreadful, but it wasn't dreadful to the point where it affects me now. Does it affect me now? Sometimes it does affect me now, but not as much. They were young, they were stupid. I was young, I was stupid, and that was just their way of retaliating off of something because I wasn't even friends with them. They didn't really like need to be hating on me, but oh well. And people want to say that it wasn't bullying, right? So you're saying targeting a person for months on end isn't bullying? What is it then? They want to backtrack now. Okay. There are kids that have experienced a much worse childhood, and I'm not going to sit here and say that my childhood was dreadful. I had a great childhood. I, for the most part, had a great school life, but obviously it was on and off, and then a big chunk of it that was very bad. And I feel like that is the main thing in my life that has helped me grow and has helped me improve. In no way, shape or form am I trying to bash any of these three types of schools. If you went to any of these schools, I'm not trying to bash you either. Okay, some of you, maybe. Let me not say that. Some of you were horrible, and hopefully you realise that by now. I don't have a grudge against you. Possibly I do. I don't really know. I'm a human. I didn't even name names. So if the shoe fits, wear it. Like, I don't really know what more you want me to do. This video wasn't to make people feel upset. This video was for me to express how I feel and a very big part of my life. I'm 17 years old. I was 14 years old when it happened. I moved on. If you were involved in the situation, you move on too. Simple. Like, we're grown now. I can deal with it. You can deal with it. So it's fine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Daddy, of course it's you.